the board made a decision not to find him in breach of the code of conduct. And I think that anyone who heard what he said or was at the meeting felt very clear that he had breached the code of conduct. And so I think it was important for, and is important for, the report to be made public so that people can make their own judgments on what the board did. I have seen now, and it's in the public realm, the conclusion of the report, which is that Trustee Delgrand did breach the code of conduct of the trustees, and still the trustees voted not to sanction him. So I think that's an important question. I believe it's going to be discussed this upcoming Wednesday night.
I'm hearing that you might be speaking this Wednesday. Is that true?
Yes, I have. Well, I have requested to make a delegation to the board. I think it's, I think that this is an issue that goes way beyond one trustee. This is an issue of creating a safe and inclusive environment in our publicly funded education system. And no board, no single trustee or group of trustees has the right to fail to comply with that. And so I feel strongly that I want to speak out about this.
How do you think it's been handled since the comments were first made this time last year until now? How do you think it's been handled by the school board?
Well, I think it was a good thing that the board asked for a report. But from that point on, I have no idea why they would not have made the findings of the investigation public, that they would have not taken the advice of the investigator, and why they would not think it was in their best interests as a board, in the best interest of the students and the staff in their board, to make it clear that they did not agree with what Michael Delgrand said. And so I think it has been handled very badly since the report was written. I think that it has created an environment of secrecy and has made people even more suspicious about the attitudes of the trustees on this board. And that's very unfortunate, because that creates a feeling of insecurity among everyone.
Should you get to address the public on Wednesday, what are you hoping to communicate?
Well, I'm hoping to add my voice to the voices who are asking the board to do the right thing, to take action in this situation, to follow the advice and the conclusions of the investigator and of the report. And, I know that there are calls for certain trustees to step down. I think it rests with the trustees to determine how they should explain their actions and what they think the consequences should be now that they are going to be public. I hope that they will release the report broadly and publicly, but they are going to have to explain their actions. Certainly the trustees who voted against any sanctions for Michael Delgrand.
I was going to ask you about that, actually. What do you think about the calls for resignations for the trustees who did vote that he did not breach the code of conduct?
Well, I think, again, I don't want to preempt the board's process, but I think that they're going to have to come up with a very good explanation as to why they did not take action, because these kinds of decisions send a very clear message well beyond the confines of the boardroom. It sends a clear message to children in our elementary and secondary schools that, well, the school board really isn't necessarily looking out for your best interests. It sends a message to parents that they have to continue to fight for a safe environment for their children to learn in. So I think that the board's going to have to be very clear what their actions are going to be to compensate for their actions up to this point. If that means that there are some trustees who feel that they have to resign, then I think that's appropriate. But if not, I think there have to be sincere apologies, and there has to be some sort of action going forward that will demonstrate that they are not going to let this happen again, and that they're certainly not going to stand for it in one of their colleague trustees.